Good morning and welcome back to the desk on Gurrel Road. This morning I'd like to have a good bit of a yarn with you about an article I've seen on Moreton Border News. It's a local newspaper. It was published on the 24th of October last week. In fact, it's on page 4, and it's to do with major local government reform bill from the current Queensland government. Firstly, the Moreton Border News, for those who aren't aware of it, it's a little rag that we get here locally. There's the page in question, and that's the full page in question, you can see. But the first thing that got to my attention was the reforms will remove time-costing red tape. Now, when we say red tape, let's be honest, that means cutting regulations, and we know that. So the fact that the Queensland government is going to cut regulations is nothing new, of course. But the other thing that got to my notice, that this publication on this page, as you've just seen, does not have a journalist put his name beside it, and the bottom of the article, as you probably have looked down the bottom there's the Queensland government ad. Fine, I don't mind the Queensland government spending money on local rags, not a worry at all. But let's try and keep this thing in focus. Is this news, or is this just a propaganda thing? That's only a question. That's all I'm asking. Continue to think about it. Anyway, let's move on to this cutting of the red tape business. I want you to take you back just a fraction of time to when, about 2016 or so, and then there was a thing called Operation Windage that went through the Ipswich City Council like a packet of salts. Now, that resulted in about 16 people getting charged over a period of time, and sure, the game went backwards and forwards on who was guilty or whatever, and there was a hell of a lot come out of it. But the fact of the matter is, the Ipswich City Council was corrupt to a point where a lot of people lost, a lot of people that weren't in the clique, mind you, lost a lot of money and time over the pre-period before that council was sacked. So keep that in mind, and if you need to refresh your memory, please, the entire report is on the Crime and Corruption Committee website, and I urge you, people who have just moved into this area, and particularly the people who aren't aware of the history of the Ipswich City Council, to have a bit of a look at that Crime and Corruption Operation Windage article and its outcomes, and whatever you choose to get out of it, to be quite honest. So let's go down anyway to have a look at this spiel they put out here on this local rag. It's the minister here said that it was called from the council over many years to cut this red tape. Okay, so looking at some of the reforms, the key changes, she said, to re-empowering councils to appoint their own senior managers and staff in strategic for strategic appointments in council. So what they're actually doing is opening up the door for the councillors to start appointing their own people instead of going through the normal process. No, the councillors can come in and have the power to do it. I'll go back to that Operation Windage. That entitlement was shown to be full of holes, and it led to charges and that being laid over that one. Point 2, clarifying the powers of the mayor and the councillors. Anybody that's been in Ipswich for any period of time after the new appointment of the council, knows that the mayors and the councillors have been having these little catfights on and off in front of the public day in and day out. And I think the average person in Ipswich is just tired of the whole exercise. Okay, both playing politics, backwards and forwards. The mayor pays it, the councillors pay it. It's not a good look for Ipswich. It's a terrible look for Ipswich. And really it's time, I think, we got some adults in that council now. I think some of those people have been there far too long, or they're taking their roles as granted. I think it's time we had a little bit of a clear think about who we go next time we go to the polls, because it's not a good look, and I don't think we should be continually blasted by this childish backwards and forwards stuff. Put some adults in the place. Okay, removing conduct breaches for councillors' conduct framework, streamlining the training of requirements. They'll say that again, removing conduct breaches. That means they can't, if a councillor misbehaves, you remove them. They don't have to be accountable. Conduct breaches of that finished. That's what they'd like to do. Allowing election candidates to include their contact information other than their residential address. Very vague, that. I'm not really sure. If you're running for a public office, surely you should be accountable and open at any time. You're on the public purse. So I can't see any reason why that's a priority, really. And the last one here is making the conflict of interest framework clearer for more strategic, straightforward, to remove red tape. Now I'll say that again, taking away the conflict of interest framework. So what are we doing really? If the councillor has conflict of interest, surely they should declare that. And they don't have to declare that. That's why this legislation they've got coming up. This to me is a complete takedown of what we did, Operation Windage did, to try and clear council out. Really, we should really be thinking about this, but not one of this article has hit mainstream media. Not one journal has taken this up at all. So it's up to you, I suppose. Well, what you really think we should be doing about this. First, personally, myself, my alarm bells are ringing when anybody says they're going to take away red tape. But this, I'm afraid, is something that is either getting slipped under the rug or being allowed to slide under the rug to go unnoticed. I'd just like to bring your attention to that, and thanks for listening to me from the desk. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.